What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and we are now in the Multiverse Saga, which means anything, literally anything, is possible in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which leaves the door open for very exciting possibilities that could happen story-wise in the MCU. And one of these stories that is rumored to happen could be literally insane, and fans would freak out about if this actually does come true. It would basically be giving us what we wanted from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. True multiverse madness. Many of us, including myself, went into the movie expecting, well, a lot more madness than we actually got. We expected Doctor Strange to travel through a lot more universes, and we expected him to stay in some of these universes for a lot longer than he did, and we also expected to see other characters from these other universes, to see variants of the characters we know and love. Well, we now know that Marvel was basically teasing us, and basically everything we wanted from this movie, well, we're going to get in Phase 6, and that could possibly include Superior Iron Man. However, we might not get him in the way that we thought we were going to get him, and he might not be so friendly. Here's something that I think is going to be very important in the MCU moving forward that I don't think a lot of people have really thought about. When it comes to the multiverse, yes, there are great possibilities for team-ups. And Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, has already mentioned that Kang is not only going to be fighting our Avengers, but he is going to be fighting other Kangs as well. Which means other Kangs, other variants of Kangs, which we know are going to team up with each other since we know that the Council of Kangs is a thing. Well, all of those other Kangs are also going to be fighting the Avengers. So there's a little bit of a war triangle here. Kang will be fighting the other Kangs, but Kang will also be fighting the Avengers. The Avengers will be fighting Kang, but also the other Kangs as well, not just one main Kang. And the Council of Kangs will fight the one exiled Kang, or the Supreme Kang, or Prime Kang, whichever you'd like to call him, that is going to rise up and be the main big bad, and they're also going to fight the Avengers. Most people know this, and that alone is extremely exciting to think about. A big scene where all of these people are fighting each other. And a lot of people assume that our Avengers and our heroes are going to travel through the multiverse, recruiting other heroes to join the fight and help them defend the multiverse. Now, that is absolutely going to happen, and we are going to see some great team-ups here. However, one thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about is that some heroes might not want to get involved. In fact, they could see the other heroes as aggressive and hostile, much like what we saw in Multiverse of Madness. The Illuminati saw Doctor Strange as the enemy, even though he really wasn't. And unfortunately, and I guess spoiler alert if you haven't seen Multiverse of Madness yet, but unfortunately, they all die. They all die because they treated Stephen Strange as a hostile when he really wasn't. If they would have just worked with him, they could have lived. But this is a perfect example of what could happen during Secret Wars and the events leading up to Secret Wars when we really start to multiverse travel. You see, Marvel's told us basically enough of what is going to happen in Phase 6 to where we kind of know how everything leading up to Kang Dynasty is going to be. Basically, after the next Avengers film, the Kang Dynasty, that's when we're going to see a lot of multiverse travel. That's when probably the new Avengers Secret Wars team is going to be put together that consists of heroes across the multiverse. That's when we'll get our multiversal team that comes together in Secret Wars to go up against Kang and the other Kangs. And that sounds super exciting, but there is a rumor going around that the Earth 838 universe isn't exactly so happy with our Stephen Strange and our universe. And apparently somebody from that universe wants the Scarlet Witch. Now this makes a lot of sense. Even when the movie first came out, I said, well, they made it very clear that Mr. Fantastic was married to Sue Storm and they had kids. And now their husband and father was just killed by the Scarlet Witch. You would think Sue Storm and Ben Grimm and the Human Torch would want answers. Plus, not to mention, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman's kid, Franklin Richards, grows up to be an Omega level mutant, possibly the strongest mutant we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe. He's probably gonna be pretty upset that Daddy's dead. So definitely people are going to seek answers and wonder what happened. However, there is one person in particular that I am thinking about, and that is Superior Iron Man. Now we have the Ultron bots in that Earth 838 universe, which seem to be a sign that Superior Iron Man, or at least an Iron Man, exists. And there was an open seat all the way to the right in the Illuminati's chambers. Now, a lot of people thought that this was Mordo's seat, but it wasn't. Mordo's seat was next to Captain Marvel because he took the spot of Doctor Strange when he became Sorcerer Supreme. So there still was an open seat all the way to the right. And it would make sense that this could be Tony Stark, especially if he had his Ultron bots working at the Baxter Foundation. He was clearly involved with the Illuminati in some way, shape, or form, even if he wasn't that actual member. But if you consider the fact that Reed Richards is the smartest man alive, and Tony Stark is one of the smartest men alive, and they are both in New York, it would make sense that they know each other, especially since Iron Man's identity as Iron Man is known to everybody, and the same goes with Mr. Fantastic. Everybody knows that he's Mr. Fantastic. So the two of them knowing each other and working together just makes sense. So somebody from another universe came to our universe and all of a sudden the entire Illuminati are dead. Well, Tony Stark's going to seek answers. And since this universe is already well versed in the multiverse, that means they probably have a way of traveling the multiverse. And I'm assuming that there is some type of footage that Iron Man can see, especially since his Ultron bots were the ones fighting the Scarlet Witch at first before the Illuminati. But the Baxter building was essentially destroyed. And that is obviously something that is very noticeable, and Iron Man probably flew in right after the Scarlet Witch left. And I'm sure that he's accessed the footage somehow and figured out that it is the Scarlet Witch from Earth 616 who came and did this, killed all of the Illuminati members, and probably killed some of his closest friends. So Tony Stark and people like the Invisible Woman and her family, the Fantastic Four, they're going to want answers and most likely revenge. This could lead to Tony Stark and his Ultron army to go to our universe in search of the Scarlet Witch. That is the current rumor that is out there. People from Earth 838 want revenge for what the Scarlet Witch did and are going to seek it. So it doesn't specify whether they're coming to our universe or not. What could happen is that when our heroes from our Earth start traveling the multiverse to recruit other heroes, they could arrive back at Earth 838. And instead of being greeted warmly, they could be greeted very hostile-like from people who are ready to seek revenge on them and do not care about the multiverse, but only their universe. Because that's how they were when Doctor Strange arrived. They didn't really ask many questions. They kind of just got together to immediately decide what they were going to do with him. So we can assume that a very angry Iron Man or a very angry Fantastic Four, and if they did already reform the Illuminati, angry Illuminati members, we can assume that they won't greet them very well and they won't really want to talk, especially if this truly is going to be superior Iron Man. He is not exactly the best guy in the comics. He's borderline a villain. So it is very possible that we could actually end up seeing superior Iron Man and we could see him fighting our heroes instead of joining them. And this could be the case multiple times throughout the multiverse when our heroes go to recruit people. We can assume that not all of these heroes are going to be the same and nice. In fact, some heroes could be villains in some other universes. So I'm guessing that not every encounter with variants of these heroes that we know and love is going to be peaceful, which I think is actually really cool and I think could really add to the whole entire story of the Multiverse Saga. They've already established not every variant is the same. In fact, many variants can be completely different from each other. Even Kang has good variants in the comics, but I definitely think that this would add a lot of depth and a lot of story to the Multiverse Saga as it is, and especially to Secret Wars. And if Earth 838 truly is going to seek revenge, I really do hope it is superior Iron Man and some members of the Fantastic Four. I think that would be absolutely insane. I hope we see it. It's just a rumor for now, but hey, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Would you like to see this? Would you not like to? Let us know. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.